You're tuned into Cuffing Season, the series.
Hi, I'm Tashcelle.
I'm Marcus.
And we're dating.
I'm Reah.
I'm Malik.
And we're dating.
Yeah.
This one. Well, it started off with me anyways, you know.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
So we go to our church together. So he was a youth leader and I was still a youth, you know. And I remember this day, like, he was late for youth. And I was like, yo, where is this guy?
We're only a year apart.
Yeah, we're only a year apart.
It sounds
Like,
yeah.
I'm 24, he's 25. We're only a year apart. But I was still like a youth, and he was like I guess a young leader. So basically, I was waiting for him, like wondering like where is he, you know, because I kind of like look forward to kind of seeing him, you know, when I. What's that? I kind of look forward to, you know, seeing him from time to time when I go to church. So basically that night, I remember the youth leaders did their testimonies, and each and every single one of them kind of shared their testimonies, and I really liked them. I remember going home that night, I thanked like every single one of them. I texted all of them, and I texted him, and at first I didn't have his phone number, so I was like, yo, how am I gonna message him? So I kind of like found him on Instagram, and then I messaged him and thanked him, and then we've been talking ever since. So I guess I jumped in his DMs, guys, you know. But yeah.
But the funny thing is, I liked her from, I'd say probably about 5-6 months before that we actually spoke. Like I would see her and like give her a head nod, and and then so but she's I'm a pretty bold person, I think, when it comes to like a lot of things, especially when it comes to like things like that. Like if I like a girl, I'm pretty good at going up and saying something. She was the only girl that I actually had like I kind of had trouble with, and I kind of felt like, yo, like I can't tell if she likes me or not. I would like 5 of her pictures, and she would like 1, and I'd be like, okay.
I was kind of shy. Didn't want to talk to him. He seemed like too outgoing for me, so I was like, I'm gonna just, you know. Well, I mean, it was nice of to like a couple of your pictures, you know, give you a little something, but like I was too shy, so I just didn't say anything.
Alright, so boom. So basically, we're best friends, and you know, I was doing the chase, you know, doing the dash for 7 years, since grade 7. And then, you know, I finally got her to cave and say, yo, alright, that's the guy for me. So yeah.
Yeah, basically we've been friends since middle school, and he's always liked me, but like we've just been like really close friends. And then like, yeah, one day it kind of just, I had feelings for him. I didn't necessarily know what those feelings were because they were new to me. And so we decided to like kind of put the decision of starting to date in the hands of God, and just to see if that would be something that we actually wanted to pursue, because we didn't want to like put our friendship at jeopardy. And then yeah. And I was on FaceTime with my friend, and I was texting him, and he said, I think I'm falling for someone. And I was like, what? Who? Like, and does she know? And he said, do you know?
You know, tell me that wasn't slick.
And I was like, what? So I called him, and then I was like, what? Like, me? And then yeah, that was kind of just.
That's cute. That's like, yeah, that's nice. Like, that's well.
I remember, like, my heart was dropping out of my chest into like my belly button or something, because I was like, well, this hasn't worked before, so let's shoot again for the 300th time or whatever.
So okay, you saying that now, what made you keep pursuing? What made you keep pushing?
Honestly, it's kind of just like, I had like a vision, like she was the one for me. Like, I don't know if it came from God. I believe it did, because literally it's like, no matter where I'd go, where I'd stray, my heart would always come back to her. Oh, it was definitely me.
Yeah. And
That
we've
could-
always said I love you, like in friendship wise, but I guess like in dating wise, like
Yeah.
We'd always classify as, oh yeah, we're best friends, but we both knew that there was something more to it.
Mm.
So it's like, we always loved each other, but we didn't like classify like, oh yeah, like I love you like this. So it's like, it was easy to say, like, it was like, hey, I love you, you know?
That's like.
I mean, we said it like kind of the same time, to be honest. Like, I feel it too. Like, we were just kind of, we both like knew what it was, but we both didn't want to say it. And then I said it, and then he said it. So I guess we both kind of like said it at the same time, to be honest. Yeah.
So what was that about? What was that like? That hesitation, you guys think? Where's that coming from?
Honestly, I think it was like the fear, because even as he earlier mentioned, like I was kind of like fearful of even talking to him like in public. So I think, like, to be very honest, I thought that like he didn't really like me. I kind of felt like he was just like, yeah, I kind of thought that like he was just like trying to be nice with me, like maybe just trying to be cordial, you know. So I didn't really like believe him at first, I'm not gonna lie. So I didn't want to like say it and then like kind of like regret it later, you know. But that's kind of why I did. I think it's the same thing for you.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my intentions. Like before, it was just, you know, I would just like see him, say hi, talk, you know, hang out, do things maybe I wasn't supposed to do. And my intentions weren't like, they weren't pure. They weren't actually like for, I would say, looking towards marriage. It was just like just to have fun. I wasn't really serious. Whereas this one, this relationship, I feel like I'm more intentional with everything I do. You know, like even just how I walk, how I talk, like everything. Like I have like, you know, I feel like I have a purpose when I do certain things. So it's definitely, it's a lot better. But it's a good change. Yeah.
Previous relationships, it's kind of like tell a lot of girls like, yeah, you know, I see this with you and I want to be this with you and this and that, but I never really, I guess, believed it, or I never really meant it. Like I guess you could say I meant it, but I didn't, it wasn't coming from a genuine place, I guess, like she said. And you know, like the actions weren't behind the words, basically. You know, whereas I feel like with us now, like Tashcelle said, like we're intentional about a lot of things. A lot of things we do, a lot of the ways we move, a lot of the ways we put, like present ourselves is very intentional. We talk a lot, and we really know where each other's heads are at. Like I feel confident in saying like I really know Tashcelle, and I feel like she knows me.
I do.
You know?
Yeah.
I'd say it's more centered around God. Like, we gave it to him at the very beginning and said, hey, like, if this is meant to be, then guide us and show us, and then push us forward. So that right there was kind of like, okay, if he wants it, then, you know, who can stop it?
yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, okay, with knowing now, okay, we're confident that this is what God wants for us. How is it when dealing with conflicts when you feel like you don't want it anymore? But then also dealing with the fact that, hey, we're here because God wants us to be here together. How do you guys figure that out when dealing with conflict?
I've never felt like I don't want this anymore. It's always been like, okay, like, everyone has problems. Like, you try to look at it like that, because at the end of the day, whatever relationship it is, you have issues or arguments with your best friends, your mom, your dad, whoever. So it's kind of like, I'm never gonna say, oh, I don't want my mom to be my mom anymore just because she told me to wash the dishes. Like, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I've ever felt like I don't want this anymore, especially because like he's also my best friend. So I'm not trying to lose my boyfriend and my best friend, but in terms of arguments and stuff, like a big thing that we've had throughout friendship transition into boyfriend and girlfriend has been communication. I wouldn't say that I was like the best communicator, just because I would say dumb things, and like obviously I know what would make him tick or like hurt his feelings or whatever. So in transitioning into being like a couple, I've become more like aware of what I say or how I say it. Obviously that doesn't stop conflicts and stuff like that, but it does help getting your point across, and I've learned a lot to just like listen before I even say anything, you know, see the other person's side of things. I've learned that from him. So yeah. I would say that my parents kind of, they show love, not necessarily in the traditional way of like always like hugging and kissing and stuff like that. I guess there's just like a sense of love. Like I know my parents love each other because of how they act with each other. Marriage, I mean, they're married, but I don't I wouldn't necessarily want my marriage to look that way, but they kind of show me the things that I don't want it to be like.
That's fair.
I wouldn't really say that my dad's romantic. I think it's shown differently. My dad loves to travel. He loves to do adventures and stuff like that. So something romantic in his mind may be like, okay, mom, like, we're gonna go here and look at like whatever. It might not be like planned like a date really, but it's just like he likes to travel and see new things and whatever. So I guess in that aspect that would be romantic because he's taking his wife to do like whatever. I would say Malik is more romantic in our relationship. I think that I learned more from him to be romantic. From my parents, like my mom especially, I think the communication part in terms of how to talk to your spouse and like stuff like that, I learned from my mom, so I bring that into the relationship.
Well, my parents aren't together anymore, but I've definitely learned a lot from both of them. Like, my mom raised me my whole life, so it's basically everything that my mom does, I try to emulate. Everything I see her do, you know, like, I'm a very strong-hearted individual. If I love you, it's literally you're getting all of me, and it's 100% all the time. And then if we fall out, then, you know, like, that's not the, like, you know, she's taught me a lot, like, how to treat women, how to show love without being overbearing, which is something I've also learned from her. My dad, like, it's really bad to say, but he taught me a lot of what not to do. Because I remember, like, there'd be days seeing what my mom was going through and stuff like that. And it's not that my dad's a bad guy. He just made some bad decisions sometimes. It showed me, like, you know, I would never want to put anybody through this hurt. Like, I would never want to do that to anybody. Marriage has always been something that was drilled into my head. My mom's like, why are you going to date somebody for 9 years if you're not going to get married? Or what's the point of dating if it's not to marry? Because you're just going to be my girlfriend forever? Like, no, like, there's power in the name of husband and, like, power in the name of wife, so.
So you guys are definitely dating for marriage.
Yeah.
That's Reah.
And romance, like, definitely a lot of things where, like, I'll pull out for her, like, it's like, okay, like, I'll talk to my mom, she'll be like, oh, nah, you have to do this. Like, even when I asked her out, it was like, hey, you got her favorite shoes, a necklace, and like one of those big stuffed teddy bears. And I set it up in my room, so when she came in, it was like the first thing she saw.
Wow. Excuse me.
Marriage, I would say patience. That's a big thing. My father has a lot of patience with my mom, you know. So patience is a big thing, also just for growth. Because a lot of times, even though like someone can be married for a long time, I still feel sometimes just like there might be levels where they're like not on the same level, you know, even spiritually as well sometimes. So I think patience is a big factor in that. I mean, my parents are like, they're not like the most romantic people, I'll be honest, but they've kind of taught me, I guess, kind of like how to be romantic by like kind of watching them. Your lack of romance. My parents are like not really like, I would say, romantic in front of their kids. I've realized that. So I would say it kind of has taught me like what not to do.
I'd say it was romance, love, and marriage. Okay, well, with marriage, because my parents aren't together anymore, I think from that I learned, I guess, commitment. If you come from situations like that, you can either do the same or you can choose to do the same or choose to do the opposite. So I've always tried to pride myself on doing the opposite. So I learned at a very early age that marriage it's not a cakewalk. It's not just all lovey-dovey all the time. And there's points where, because we even talk about it with each other, where because we know we want to, God willing, get married soon at some point. So we even say like, yo, there's gonna be days where you're gonna wake up next to me and not like
Not
really
like you.
not like
Yeah.
you. And I'm gonna wake up next to you and not like you. There's gonna be days where in months, it could be years, you know what I mean, like where we're just not clicking. It's about staying committed, honoring the commitment you made before God and also to each other too. Romance, I think I learned, I don't know, I don't think I saw much romance from my parents. Like I did early on. Like I remember some stuff when I was a kid, but because they split up when I was 13. I'm 25 now, so I don't remember much romance between them like that. In terms of with me and her, I try to take note of what she likes. You know what I mean? Because we have different love languages, so I try to really honor what hers is, even though it's not the same as mine. And so some things she wants to me, they may not seem like so important, but I make them important because she says they are to her.
That's true.
Love, kind of the same thing with commitment. Love is it's deeper than a feeling. You feel love for someone, but you also choose to love them, I believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Between like my parents and I, there was no conversation whatsoever. To be very honest, the person that kind of taught me like how to like to date, honestly, was Marcus. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of because like he kind of showed me. No, you did. Like I haven't been in like much previous relationships, so he was kind of just like a show. Like especially to be like in an intentional like purposeful relationship, it's different. They taught me like it's okay to argue too, because I thought arguing was like bad.
Yeah.
I used to like hate arguing. Like if you start up like, okay, I don't want to hear it, and it's like, no, arguing is good, and I'm like, okay, you know. So like he kind of like, I guess he eased me into it. And then as obviously things went by, because we've been dating for what 5 years now. I've kind of learned to obviously adapt things on my own, but a lot of it did actually come from him, to be honest. Yeah.
I was laughing because I was gonna say the same thing. Like I was gonna say, I feel like I learned from her. I feel like we kind of teach each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's good.
And it's not. It's kind of weird because it like to most people it'd be like, how do you guys teach each other? Like you have to have gotten it from somewhere. But no, I feel like we're pretty. We'll literally have conversations like where I'll be like, yo, what more do you want from me? Like not in a bad, oh, what more do you want from me? Like, it's literally like I'll ask her like genuinely like, yo, like what more do you think I can do? Like what ways do you think I can be better to you? What ways do you think I'm better? And we don't just talk about each other as, oh, this is how you can be a better boyfriend to me. This is how you can be a better girlfriend to me. She'll be like, yo, I feel like you'd be a better man if you do this.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I feel like you'll be a better woman if you do this.
Like when I started dating, it's like obviously my mom's like my best friend. She's my right hand. So it's like everything that goes on in my life, I tell her. So like when I told her, she's like, okay, just make sure, you know, they treat you right. You treat them right. You know, there's always respect and like communication. She also taught me never put down someone else's ideas because you may disagree. Because that's a really big thing. Like, you know, she may believe something, but I don't believe it. You know, like there can always be a discussion instead of, oh, nah, you're wrong. It's just basically my mom all the time, my brothers and stuff.
I don't really remember having like a relationship talk. I wasn't really interested in having a boyfriend, like as a kid or whatever. Like, I guess you have crushes and stuff, but the idea of coming home and being like, oh, I have a boyfriend is just like, what? So, yeah, I don't really remember the convo. When I first got a boyfriend though, I think I told my mom, and she was just like, okay.
I'm sick of it.
No.
Actually, that's not even a joke.
Like, I mean, honestly, I am happy that, you know, we've gotten to 5 years, God willing, many more. But I think we're both at the stage where we just kind of want to, like, you know, move forward. We do want to get married soon, God willing, in Jesus' name. But like, we're literally just we're just at that stage where we're just like, we just kind of want to move forward. We are different stages at our life completely, like, you know, careers, education, all of that. We just kind of like move forward together as a whole, to be honest.
I feel like I'm kind of tired of calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
Kind of seems kind of, and it's no disrespect to anyone else who is dating or who is boyfriend and girlfriend to someone else, but yeah, I feel like I tell her all the time, I'm like, yo, I'm tired of calling you my girlfriend.
Yeah.
It just feels like so, like, you know, like just yeah, it's my girlfriend, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, like I want her to be something more. So
Yeah.
I feel like we both want that.
I mean, yeah. I definitely want to get married. I know he wants to get married like yesterday. I mean, I'm considering like where we are in our lives. Like, we're only 21. We're still in school. We live at home. You know, like we're steps closer to getting married, which is great. And like we work every day to like better our relationship, to have like a substantial relationship when it comes time to like actually get married and stuff like that. Yeah, I would say that I'm like happy with like our status. Yeah.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely want to get married. I should say it said like yesterday, just because I feel like if it's not her, then it's nobody. Like I don't really care. Like if by some way we just end up not together, it'd just be like I'm chilling at my house with my dog.
Okay.
I would say actually be friends. Like that's like really important. Like Marcus is like my best friend, you know. You're so nice. You're so nice. No, like you know, find someone you can like laugh with. You know, share common interests. Just like you actually find like something you have in common with them and actually be their friend. I feel like sometimes couples they kind of only see like the romantic aspect, but like forget the friendship aspect. But I put that first, to be honest. Because that's what holds us together, I feel like. Yeah.
I feel the exact same way. And actually be friends. I feel like a lot of times we, like couples say like, yeah, like so and so, like my boyfriend and my girlfriend's my best friend, but it's like actually be their friend. Like actually, you know what I mean? Like I one of the main things that I loved about Tashcelle from the jump was our conversations. I could sit on the phone with her for hours, and the first conversation we had that night, she DM'd me on Instagram and we stayed up till I think like 6 a.m. Like she said, like she's literally my best friend too. When I'm at work, I call her like all the time, or I'll call her, cause I guess I'm kind of embarrassed sometimes. I call her too much, so I'll be like, "Yo, you called me," and she'll be like, "No, like you just wanted to talk to me. Get out of here." I'm like, no, cause I thought you called me, cause I saw on my phone that, and she's like, all right. Really know your partner. Get to know them. Yeah. And it's fun getting to know your partner. You know, that's like even sometimes we'll test each other. We do it all the time. You know what I mean? So and I can tell you things that scare her. Yeah. Things that like she likes, things that make her happy, things that make her laugh, all that. You know, so it's really knowing each other. I'd say that.
Not if, like you should date with intention. I think it makes the experience more purposeful, and you definitely learn a lot, not just about yourself but about someone else. I think in being in the relationship, like I've learned a lot about what I like, what I don't like, characteristics of myself that I didn't know that I was lacking at, or like things that I noticed that I was really good at and could like help my partner with. And then definitely like communication is a big thing. Someone who you want to end up spending the rest of your life with, it's super important to know how to communicate with them. And it might not be the same way that you like to be communicated with, but like you cater to their needs. It's teamwork. That's what makes the dream work. And yeah.
I feel like there's a lot that goes into a relationship that people don't take in. Having something as the center of your relationship is important. Like for us, it's God. So, you know, sometimes like when we get into arguments, we'll actually pray about it. Be completely openly honest, because I know that this is a problem for a lot of people, is sex is not everything. If you can't spend the day without thinking about, oh yeah, like what are we gonna do later? You know what I mean? Like there's no point of even saying, hey, like let's be together, because at that point it's kind of more lust more than love.
And like, do you really know that person? Like, could you actually sit down and just talk? You know, like if someone were to really ask you something super simple about your significant other, would you be able to answer that question? Like, what is she like? And you have to think about that. It's a problem. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely.
As she said, communication is definitely a big thing. Whatever you do, try to consult your partner. Even if it's not, hey, I'm asking you if I can. It's like, hey, like I'm just letting you know I'm going this place, I'm going that place. Like there's never a time where I'm anywhere and she doesn't know. Respect, because you can't go through a relationship calling each other names and stuff like that, because that's toxic. Like at some point, it's gonna build up to a point where it's like, bro, I don't even think I even like you anymore. If it's like it's not meant to be, you can at least say, okay, we had a good relationship, we had a good run. Like, you know, we can just continue as friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Yay! This is really